thought I was ready. Okay. Welcome, everyone. Today is Tuesday, April 15th, and at 7:08 p.m. we are convened as the Provo City School Board of Education, meeting at 280 West, 940 North, Provo, Utah. And we will begin with a roll call. And Melanie, let's start with you.
Melanie Hall, Board Member.
Emily Harrison, Board Member.
Meg Van Wagenen, Board Member.
Wendy Dow, Superintendent.
Jennifer Partridge, Board President.
Gina Hales, Board Vice President.
Terry McCabe, Board Member.
Lisa Boyce, Board Member.
Devin Daly, Business Administrator.
Monica Tuona, Student Board Member.
Okay. Thank you. Do we have a motion to start our business meeting?
I move we start our business meeting.
Okay, motion made by Board Member Van Wagenen. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Board Member Hall. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we are now in business meeting, and we are going to begin with opening remarks by Board Vice President Gina Hales.
Oh, I almost thought I had the opening remarks. So I just want to say something really short so I feel like I should never get on social media because there's so much negativity out there, but I do anyway. And I get sucked into the vortex of negativity and doom, right? But I think that from what I've been seeing, there seems to be a narrative about public schools that we don't achieve enough, that we have too much administration. Not only do we have too much administration, they get paid too much. Our teachers don't deserve raises because they don't work during the summer. And there's just been a lot of things that I've seen, and a lot of, at least what I have seen, some negativity. So I just wanted to talk about, I can't speak about any other school district, but I can speak about ours. And I just wanted to, this is by far not an exhaustive list of what I see happening, but I just wanted to recognize the work that is being done in Provo City School District, because there is a lot of work being done, and I'm very proud of the work that we're doing. So a few things. We got our strategic plan done. If you noticed, it was up on the board and very pretty, so thank you to our communications. I'm assuming it was communications that put that together. And that has kind of become our North Star, right, our guiding star. This is what we're about, this is what we do, and I think it's been helping us to focus on the things that are most important. We've had a focus on professional learning communities, PLCs, which is where we look at data, which is another one of my points. We are gathering data from our students, we are gathering data from our employees, but with our student data, we are not only gathering data, we're gathering good data, and we're interpreting it, and we're starting to really use it to improve our outcomes, right? Whatever those measures may be, scores, whatever. And I see the momentum coming, and I believe it's making a difference, and it will continue to compound, right? Those differences, those positive differences will continue to get bigger. So one thing that I really love that we're doing now is that our schools are where our resources go, right? And some of our resources are administrative staff at the district level and the school level. And I will tell you that over the last couple of years, when I am in the district office, I have a hard time finding district staff, and I love it because they're out in the schools. They're where they need to be, right? Sometimes they're here, and that's okay. They have an office here, but they're in the schools. And when I go to schools, I see district people. I don't think I've been to a school when I haven't seen district people there. They are not just sitting in their offices. They are not getting paid to put their feet up on their desk. They're out, their boots are on the ground, and they're in the schools, right? Which is where the resources should be. Let's see. Communication and transparency. Our communications team works with our superintendent, and we put out all kinds of stuff. We have newsletters. Our superintendent has a video cast that she does every week and a podcast, and I've been like, maybe we should just slow this down, but they don't. They're doing it, and they're doing it well. And I have to say that if you don't know what's happening in the district, then come and talk to one of us, because we are very open about what we're doing. And if you want to know what's happening, there's something for you that you can listen to or watch or ask questions to us. We're working on an efficient use of our resources. We just had an hour discussion about our boundary and feasibility study, right? We're working on all of those things. We have good relationships with our legislators, and one of them was here at the other meeting. It looks like she might have left. I can't see her now, but we have good relationships with our legislators. We're very involved in all of that. We've updated all of our policies, right? we don't have a full-time attorney like some of the bigger districts, which falls then on our district administrative staff. And they're working hard to update the policies, as is Wendy when we get emails at 3 a.m. from Wendy about policies, right? I just wanted to be very clear that there's a lot of work happening in this district, and we are public schools, and I'm very proud to be part of a public school. We are not wasting your money. And these kids are worth it. And that's it.
Thank you, Gina. Appreciate that. Okay, we'll now invite up our Director of Special Programs, John Anderson, to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, we are now entering the Community Connections portion of our meeting, which we will begin with our employee recognition of the Provo Way Awards. And while Jason Cox is coming up to do that, I just want to announce if you are here to give public input tonight, that will happen in a couple more agenda items, but there are papers in the back for you to fill out. You fill that out and you come turn it in over here to Bonnie, our assistant, and then that will help you be ready for when that comes up in our agenda. So, all right, Jason.
Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity. I want to say thank you to Board Member Hales for her opening remarks, because we get to recognize these fantastic employees who make such an effort and do such a wonderful job to impact the students here in Provo, do things to help them have a better future. And in all honesty, I believe that's what education does for people. So tonight we're going to be recognizing, and I'd just like to ask these people to stand when I call their names. We're going to be recognizing Carrie Whittingham, Anu O'Neill, Patsy Gibbs, and Chris Bringhurst. Let's give them a round. We have put together, our communications department has put together a little video to recognize them, and afterwards we'd love to give the board members a chance to thank them personally. So we're going to start over here after the video and allow our board members to shake your hand and thank you for the work that you've done. So we'll go ahead and start the video.
I love working with Patsy Gibbs. She goes above and beyond. I have been so impressed with her expertise and experience and how she applies that to help with solving problems. She helps our district on all levels, from preschool to high school, and I've seen her not only help with collecting the data and making plans, but also continually helping to support the student and the plan. She dedicates so much of her time to help both the teachers, the school teams, and the students in our district. Patsy is Wonder Woman.
So the reason I nominated Mr. B is because he's the social worker and he's really nice. The meetings are really fun and he can make it fun while talking about serious topics. So we talk seriously and then we're able to do like a game or something, and he makes it enjoyable. And he always listens to whatever you have to say, and that I really appreciate that about him.
Nomination from Angelica Borden. Coach Whittingham doesn't just inspire us, he also helps us become better and stronger, not just physically, but mentally. His teaching approach is personal and thoughtful, and he always motivates us to push ourselves and never give up, even when things get tough. He turns every class into a time when we feel capable of achieving more. Because of him, I've learned to handle my fears better and become more confident. He deserves this award because this hard work and care inspires us every single day.
Anu exemplifies what it means to be a champion for students. She goes above and beyond and ensures their success and well-being. Not only that, but she takes a deeply personal interest in each student she works with, and she sees them not just as learners, but as whole individuals with unique stories and struggles and aspirations. Her care extends beyond academics. She invests in their personal growth and supports them through challenges, both in and outside the classroom, and I have personally witnessed this dedication firsthand with students making comments such as, "She's like a second mom to me." Her fierce advocacy and boundless kindness make her an exceptional teacher, mentor, and friend. She doesn't just teach, she changes lives.
And we want to say thank you for your work, and if you don't mind, we'd love to have you come up here and allow the board members to go ahead and give you that thank you.
You're the best. Thank you.
Hey, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
We're both working in space.
I was going to say the same to you. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Thank you for everything.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, let's give our Pro Way Award winners one round of applause. I love seeing and hearing the stories every month when we get to recognize these wonderful employees. You guys really highlight what Gina was speaking to of we have just such wonderful people in this district, and you teach and you serve with heart and make a difference in individual lives, and that's what it's all about, and we are so thankful for that. So, okay, next we have our school report, and so we are going to invite up Clint Smith, who is our e-school principal.
Good evening. Thank you, Board and Superintendent Dow, for the opportunity to highlight Provo eSchool. Provo eSchool was initiated in this district clear back in 2011, in the beginning of that school year. And so we are still moving forward. Things have changed over time quite often. And so I feel like eSchool is kind of this program that we're not sure what it's going to look like from year to next. And that's especially true of our population. We have a lot of change in our school population each year. So currently we have about 60 to 65 K-8 students in the K-8 portion of our eSchool. That number is down significantly since COVID has receded. We also have 9 through 12 enrollments. We have about 610 kids, depends on the day. That fluctuates quite a bit with kids coming in and out of classes. We have tons of enrollments, 1,434 currently, and about 81% of those are original credit courses. What we do in eSchool is we have what we call a rolling enrollment. Students are able to sign up for courses anytime during the year, and they're given 60 school days to complete a course. If they need extra time, we also give them an extension of an extra 60 days to complete a course. If needed, there is a $15 fee unless a student has a fee waiver in place. And so our K-8, we only have 1.5 FTE in K-8. We have a full-time and a half-time teacher, and then we have 25 high school teachers that are on stipend that work in the district. I think we have 3 retired teachers that are with us and about 22 that currently teach in our high schools. Those teachers are paid at $500 per section. For instance, Kerry is one of our eSchool teachers, and he teaches 2 sections, and so he would get $500 per section plus $20 per student per term. We used to be semester classes. We went to terms last year, and so I think that fits better with what our students need. I'm the principal, Clint Smith. Megan Dunnigan is our coordinator. She's been there since 2012, I believe. This is her 13th year. And then Yasmin Jones is our secretary and our registrar. Our demographics, I don't know how these compare to other schools in the district. We're about 6.5% of our students are English language learners. Special education sitting at around 11.5%. And then our race and ethnicity, you can see, is pretty diverse. We have a good mix of students that come from all over the district. And so right now, our Acadience reading, I kind of wanted to focus on this. Our current Acadience reading as of middle of the year, we have 56% of our students who are on track to be at or above reading level by the end of the year. Approaching, we have 23.5% and below 20.5%. So we're hoping to move some of those yellow kids up into the green and blue area, which would mean that they meet or above level by the end of the year. And with progress monitoring with Acadience, our teachers are trying their best to get kids to come to those progress monitoring. In eSchool, it's kind of unique. They give the parents a time to come to be progress monitored. If they show up, they do. And if not, then we keep trying to get them. But below and approaching level, we have our teachers progress monitor every 1 to 2 weeks. Our green students, which are on level, once a month, and then our blue kids, those who are above level, we like to progress monitor them at least once a term, just to kind of keep track on all students' progress, not just those that are behind. RISE testing data from 2024, we had 57.1% of our students in eSchool met or exceeded the RISE standards in ELA. That was a little bit over a 7% increase from the previous year. Mathematics, 37.5%. And if you notice that increase of 26.4% over 2023, I don't know what happened in 2023, but the whole state looked like it tanked. It was just terribly low. And to say that we only had 11.1% of our kids, basically 1 out of 10, passed the RISE test. I don't know if they changed the standards. I don't know what happened, but we came up a good 26% last year. And our science, we're hanging in there at 50%, a 6% increase over the previous year in 2023. Our school land trust goals, we actually met tonight before I came to the board meeting. We have been looking at our math goal, and we started our RISE testing this year. We're hoping to have 40% of our students meet or exceed the standard in RISE mathematics. That would be a 2.5% over last year increase. And then we also have an amendment that's in for review on our 2025 trust lands plan to include an ELA goal of 77% of our students at year's end being on level or above in Acadience reading. And so we want that to be, that's a 5% increase over the previous year. Our math goal for this year, we just got done setting the goal for 2026 trust lands plan. We want at least 45% of our students. We want to keep that trajectory moving upward in our mathematics. And so we're really pushing our parents and our teachers to focus a lot on mathematics since it has been so much of a struggle over the past few years. Oops, I think I just, there we go. So points of recognition, we are accredited through Cognia through June 30th, 2027. So 2 more years basically before we go through that process again. Currently, we have awarded 325 credits through the first 3 terms of this year to high school students. And there's been almost 2,000 grades posted in the first 3 terms through eSchool. So there's a lot, we have a lot of kids that are taking advantage of eSchool. And it's really good to see. We actually even awarded almost 80 credits last summer. We do charge a $35 fee per quarter credit during the summer. And we have about 15 different courses that we offer during the summer for our summer school. And so currently our classes, we have almost 50 classes that we offer original credit and about almost 40 credit recovery courses. And we also use a lot, there's a lot of kids who use eSchool to make up credit for late graduation in October. So we can help them through September 30th to take courses with us that would allow them to walk in that October graduation. Our community council this year, we wanted to get the RISE test in front of kids in the practice format before testing started. As you know, a lot of times kids struggle with manipulating that test, being an online test, and what they're required to manipulate with the computer. So the community council sponsored a pizza and cookie party where we ate together, and then we got the computers out and they practiced testing with their parents. The turnout was not as high as we would like it to be, but with eSchool, we never know what the turnout's going to be for anything. So, and plus our community council, part of that amendment on our 2025 plan was to buy Epic, which is an online library for kids to access. Plus, they allocated funds to purchase 3 hard copy books for kids to take home during RISE testing to add to their home libraries that they get to keep. So we just wanted to put books in the hands of kids. A lot of our kids don't have books at home, and it's not much, but it's better than nothing. So, and our challenges in eSchool, obviously we're competing for students. Utah Online is one of our big competitors. I understand about $900,000 a year goes out to them from some of our students, which is a lot, and I'd like to draw more of those back in. So I would like to, there are public misconceptions, even within our own school district, about what eSchool offers and how it works. We're doing everything we can each day to try to tamp down those misconceptions. One drawback is our courses are not NCAA approved, but when a kid comes to us, a student comes to us and says, I need this, because I want to try this sport in college, then we refer them directly to BYU for their independent study course. Obviously, online learning is not for everybody. We have a lot of kids that come online, and obviously mom and dad, they are the frontline teachers for their kids in our program. And a lot of times our kids are being left at home without parental watch care, and sometimes the kids won't log in and do their work, and that's one of our struggles. We really try to emphasize that the parents, if you're going to enroll in eSchool, need to be there with your kids, whether it be in the afternoon or the evening, the morning, whenever. And then also one of the issues that we face challenges with is our IEP students. A lot of students, we don't have a SPED teacher, so the students go to their home school for their IEP services, and a lot of times they won't show up for those at their home school. So meeting those IEP goals is sometimes a difficulty that we have. And then the last one is just the mobility. We might have 10 kids enroll in eSchool tomorrow in the K-8, and then 7 on Thursday withdraw. And so it's just kind of an ebb and flow of our population. But we're servicing a lot of kids, and a lot of kids are doing well with us, and a lot of credits being earned. And so I'd just like to shout out to eSchool that it is a good program, and it's worth having within our district to serve our students. So Are there any questions that I can answer?
Who's question?
I had a question about when you had the enrollment numbers. Is there a way to compare if another school district has like their version of eSchool, and do they have the same kind of numbers as we do and that kind of stuff?
Most of the other online schools, I don't know how much public schools actually have online versions. I'm not really versed on what that is, so I can't do a comparison. I know there's a lot of private online schools, Utah Online being a huge one here in Utah that a lot of kids go to. But yeah, I don't know the numbers compared to ours.
Gina?
I've known some students or families that they take a class online, like sometimes the kids can't or don't want to get up early enough. Is this or they want to free up some room on their schedule for like other courses that the school offers in person? Is eSchool where they would do that? Is that where they're doing that?
Yeah, so that's the beauty of eSchool, especially for our high school kids. A lot of kids don't want to get up. They don't want to go in-person school. There may be family situations where parents and families are struggling and they just can't make in-person school work. And so they'll put their kids in eSchool for a short time and even end up liking it, and their kids continue on with us. We have lots of athletes that really like their time free for practice and stuff. So these classes, they can do those classes within 60 days at their own pace, and they can do it whenever they would like to, the middle of the night, during the day, early morning, whatever it might be. So it's a good program for kids who need a difference in their schooling.
Thank you.
Other question? I'm curious, so even with elementary, it's a 60-day module?
No, the elementary, so our 6 through 8 are on semesters.
Okay.
So they have semester classes. And then our K-5 kids are all year-long classes. And we use the K-12 curriculum for that. So that's a purchased curriculum. It used to be that, was it Edgenuity that was used, that teachers were used from their program, but we have our own teachers, and the parents are obviously their main academic coaches at home for our K-6 kids.
Okay. And then I did have one other question. So based on what I'm looking at here, it looks like our reading is significantly better for elementary than our math. Do we know what factors make that so, and what are we doing to, I see it's a goal to improve our math scores, but what are we doing to really move the needle on math?
We're really trying to work with our parents to really emphasize. We talked tonight in our community council meeting about especially our young kids. A lot of times it's taboo to talk about learning your math facts. To me, that's one of the keys to being successful in math, if you don't know your math facts. And so these younger kids, a lot of these kids, they come in and they take the Acadians math test, and they have no clue how to add, subtract, divide, multiply, any of that type of thing. And so there's a real struggle so we're trying to really emphasize with our parents to really focus on just not only the curriculum, but we've also have iReady that is used as a diagnostic, plus they can use that as an intervention program as well. We have IXL. So, you know, the amount of face time that our actual in-person or our teachers have with kids is way limited compared to an in-person school teacher. So the thing about eSchool is a lot of people think, well, I'll just jump into eSchool and everything will be good. And it takes a lot of discipline. It takes a lot of planning, a lot of time to keep their feet to the fire. And it's and it's really easy to get behind in a hurry. And when they get behind, then we see a lot of kids that just don't log in, and parents won't answer emails and phone calls, and then they just kind of sit there and nothing happens. So, yeah, I'm not sure what to do about the math other than just keep pushing and really emphasizing, and we need you to be working with your kids on the math curriculum and the things that we're giving them from our trust lands funds. So, okay.
Anything else? All right, thank you, Principal Smith.
Thank you.
Appreciate you being here tonight. All right, item C3, public input. Do we have anybody here to give public input? No? Okay. Thank you. We will close that portion of the meeting. And before we vote on our consent calendar, we'll just take care of very similar items from our study session that we ran out of time for. So first, well, I'm going to go backwards from what it was in study session. So first, we're going to just draw your attention to item 14 from the study session, which is our Google Calendar items. Does anyone have any questions about any of those? Okay. For the public's awareness, one of those items, we do have a joint city council meeting with the city council on Thursday, May 1st at noon, and it will be hosted here at the district. So that will be great. And then let's go ahead and talk about the consent calendar. So does anyone have any questions about the consent calendar items?
I did, but.
Can you use your mic, Terry?
Sorry. But you know what? It can be in an email. Never mind.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Well, with that, do we have a motion to approve the consent calendar?
I move that we approve the consent calendar.
Okay. Motion made by Board Member Boyce. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Vice President Hales. Any discussion on the motion? Okay. All in favor with aye?
Aye.
Aye. All right, that's our only item to vote on tonight. What a rare thing for a business meeting, but. All right, we will now turn it over to Monica for our student board member report. Wow, this looks exciting.
Hello. This past week, we had the Student Advisory Council at Shoreline. It was mainly conducted by Hutch, and it was a great conversation. We talked about freshman preparation, just some study habits during test, how to prepare them for test, the importance of it. But I think the most important one, I might be a little biased because I am Polynesian, was the cultural diversity importance. So I was looking at I was just looking at the news, and it was talking about how Trump's administration sent that letter out, and the Utah School Board of Education did not accept it. And Ryan Bartlett said, "We did not send the certification letter as written, but instead took the approach of crafting our own response letter in which we outline the Utah state laws and board rules that we already are following that hold our LEA school district accountable for anti-discrimination." But he also did say, by taking this approach, we are neither rejecting or signing the certification, but showing that we are indeed in compliance with the federal and civil right laws. So I just thought it would be important to show you guys this picture. I printed it out with Cheryl at Timpview. And it's basically our welcome photo for the Timpview students of Student Gov.
Cute.
I thought this was such an amazing photo. Oh, yes. Since Hutch isn't here, I just did a Timpview one, but I thought this was really important to show the diversity within Student Gov, and that's such a small group of the school, but you can kind of see me on the side. I didn't wear my jacket that day, but there's like Polynesian reps, there's the LIA reps, we have some special education students in there, we have a lot of English second language learners, and I just think taking that aspect away from schools, you guys all know this already, is gonna rip our schools apart. But in doing this, we're unifying our students together to keep that culture strong. And it's not separating the students, it's bringing them together. And we had a great conversation about that at the SAC meeting. And then, I'll just set this down. You guys can hang that up here. And then another thing that I was talking to Gina and Hutch about was a chord for graduation. I think it would be a great idea for the student board members to have a chord, mainly because I think it's a great flex for the students, just to show them what we do. I was talking with Daryl as well, and he showed a copy. I can send this out to you guys. But it's basically the Timpview Orange, Independence Blue, and then Provo Green. And it's just a little twist of it all. I think it's so gorgeous, but I do also think we could do one where it's 3 thick chords, and it kind of looks like a candy cane. I think that'd be fun. And then I also made the application for student school board members, like the actual chord, and I'll also be sending that out to you guys just for any feedback if you guys have any. And that is my report. Any questions at all?
You could instead make a pin or a medal and make it, look like a gift or something.
Yes, I
Board
would
member.
love that.
That's good. Anything for Monica? Thank you.
Of course. Thank you so much.
That's great work. All right. Now we will turn it over to Devin for our business administrator's report.
So they seem to really love to pack a lot of conferences in the month of April. So the last couple days I've been at the convention center here in Provo to meet with all the rest of the business administrators in the state of Utah, talking about strategizing how we're dealing with pay increases, how we're going to handle several pieces of the legislation that tends to contradict other legislation. So we have to figure out how to work within that. So they've all been really good. I've learned a lot and gotten some great feedback and ideas from other BAs around the state that will help us be a little bit better.
Great. Thank you. I know you've already been to 3 conferences this month, and we're only halfway through the month, so thank you. Okay, now we will do our board member roundtable, where the board members have the opportunity, if they'd like to report on any of your assignments. Could be committee, could also be anything that you learned at the national conference we all went to together that just kind of stood out to you, but you don't have to share anything if you feel like you've already done that. So Lisa, let's start at your end.
Okay, well, I think you have all seen what we talked about, mostly a policy committee. I just wanted to share one of the things that I really loved, that one of the classes from the National School Board Association conference that we went to, and that was just this conversation around Portrait of a Graduate, which we've already started here in this district, and I know a lot of people have put a lot of thought into. But we went to that class, Gina and I were in that class together and had a lot of our questions, I feel like, a little bit clarified around the why for that and how it becomes, is it a real tool, or is it another thing we do and we spend time and resources and develop and we write it, we feel good about it, and then it's just another thing somewhere at the district. Do you know what I'm saying? We just wanted to know, like, will this inform instruction? Would it make a difference for a teacher and how they're teaching every day? Would it make a difference to a student and how they approach learning? Would they even know about it? Would families know about it? So we loved the class and how they talked about community buy-in and communities contributing to developing a picture of what do we really hope is true about our students when they leave Provo City School District. How are they ready for the world? And it really paired well with an AI class that I went to that was talking about durable skills. And these aren't new skills, but just they're becoming, I think, more and more important around communication, collaboration, the ability to take feedback and give feedback. Like, what are these skills that our kids need to have? And so I really appreciated, thinking about what really prepares us now for the world coming at us so quickly, and what are the skills we need to have, and then are those skills we can teach, and whose job is that? And so just thinking about all of that for me has been important, I think, as we approach the work we do here. And so that was one thing. And then just finance, we're going to meet Friday, but I think it's been really helpful to hear from employees. I want employees to know that we read every comment made on every one of those surveys. You know, I took a lot of notes to inform us. We take the needs very seriously. And we also have a stewardship to our taxpayers here. And so how we approach that over the next couple of months is going to take a lot of communicating. And so I just hope people will know they can always reach out to us to reiterate questions or concerns that they have, whether you're an employee or a student in this district or just a citizen, a community member, one of our constituents. We want to hear from you, and we want to make the wisest decisions with the resources that we have.
I got picked to be on the committee to read the nominations for the Evening of Excellence Awards, and that was pretty awesome how coworkers were bragging about each other, and I really like that. And I believe all of the people who are getting awards have been told, Caleb? Yes. So, and that is next week, and April 22nd. I can't go, but everybody else go and have fun and eat good food. And then for LegCom, we're working on a couple of things, but if the other board members or parents or students have ideas for bills, please let us know so we can coordinate with our Provo legislators. And one of the first classes I went to at NSBA, the school district in New York, brought up that some of their Spanish-speaking parents are actually illiterate in Spanish, and that hadn't even occurred to me that that was possible. And that makes their student, it's harder for them to learn English if they don't have a mastery of Spanish, if the parents and the students don't have a mastery of Spanish. And I was really glad that opened my eyes, because I hadn't even thought, I just assumed that they could read and write in Spanish. So I was really glad I went to that class.
Student board members, we saw our fantastic one from Timpview. Hutch is excused, he had a family event. But we are still looking for a student board member from the Provo High area. So for next year, so upcoming seniors, so if you're a junior this year, or if you have a child who might want to do this and get a beautiful cord that maybe looks like a candy cane, then apply. That's how our current student board member found out was a parent. So I would encourage you to apply. It's a really good experience. It is a lot of time. So we have all the requirements laid out online, but we would love to have some strong candidates from Provo High. And I was going to add some things about NSBA, but I think they were covered by our other board members. I do think that it would be great for us to partner with the community as we put together our portrait of a graduate, so that my takeaway was this was a shared vision, right? It's not just the school board's vision, it's the community's vision, it's parents' vision, it's the district's vision of what we want our graduates to, what skills, right? How we want them to be. And so I'm excited to continue working on that.
Okay, I'm going to go next. I'm going to quickly report on this year. I was assigned to be the board member to participate in our CITES conference. So CITES is the Center for the Improvement of Teacher Education and Schoolings, and it's our BYU public school partnership. Judy Rose and Doug Finch, Jared, and Jason, you were there for the first couple too as well. Well, maybe more. I missed one of them. It was a great experience. So a few of the schools are invited to participate each year, so it rotates through different schools, and so it's a principal, and then some of the staff, the teachers from the schools are part of this. And there's 5 different topics, and it's all centered around education and kind of like professional development for our teachers and administrators. My biggest takeaway this last session was this past week, and at the end of it, we all sat in a circle, and Judy had us just talk about what the biggest impact of the experience. So I got to hear from all of these educators who participated. And for me, I loved seeing how engaged they all were and how impactful and important this opportunity to have this professional development, what it meant to all of these teachers at our schools, and that they really took it seriously, had great takeaways. And I really valued the opportunity they all had to take a step from the classroom and to be with one another from different schools and each other, their own school teams, and learning in a space and kind of recommitting themselves to their profession and their craft as educators, and how it really was important for them. And I loved being able to do that with them and being a part of that. So thank you, Judy and Doug and Jason and Jared.
I get to be on the committee with the Parent Advisory Committee, and so I thought I'd report on that. We've had one meeting. There were 18 parents there, ranging from all over the district. And I just wanted to thank Superintendent Dow for helping all of us to have a good interactive experience. And we talked about issues in elementary and strengths in the elementary, and then issues in the secondary schools and strengths in the secondary schools. And it was a great interactive activity to talk about and look at what people are seeing that are the strengths and then the struggles that the district is facing. So I look forward to what will come about from that, getting parent input. So thanks.
So at NSBA, I chose a lot of the classes that were geared towards the student board members, and because I'll be taking that over next year, and it was really good. I'm really grateful for that program that we now have to hear the student's voice, and we're doing good things with that. I also enjoy going to the community council and PTA meetings. I know a lot of you here in this room also do that as well, but I find that those are very informative for us as board members to listen to what their needs are, and some of it has also created some new policies. I'm also part of the Timpview Construction Committee, and I've been to all those meetings for the new addition for, I guess, I don't even know what we call this, phase
400.
4K, yeah, 4, I don't know. But it's been really informational to sit down and hear what the teachers' wants and needs are versus what this district can provide. And we've been trying to do this very equitably with Provo High. So there will be some things that may not look the same, but know that we did try to do our very best when it came to that. But I look forward to when construction will be completed at Timpview.
Looking forward many years.
Yes.
For our legislative committee, I just want to give a shout out to Emily, who has worked to coordinate with our legislators and has set up almost all of them to do school visits in the next few weeks. We will be sending that out so that if there are, we don't want like 5 of us there, but if there are board members who can come, if we can have 1 or 2 of us with them, that would be fantastic. And we're glad that they have that desire to be in our schools and see what's happening in our schools, the good as well as the challenges. So with the state association, I'm on the board of directors, and we have our big retreat coming up the end of the month where we do a lot of our work, or at least get it started. And I'm on the legislative committee for the association. One of the things that our committee will be doing is finalizing plans for the pre-delegate assembly in June. So right now we're kind of looking towards having a couple legislators, well, a few legislators come, and we submit questions ahead of time that they'll answer for us. But if you have other ideas on how we can make that a really impactful evening, we're also talking about doing what they did last year and taking some of the time to go over what will be seen the next day that we vote on, the different priorities and why they were selected and some of the details behind it, so that we can not be going on and on forever the next day going through every detail on that. So Another thing that role I have for that board is I've been assigned to watch the Law and Licensing Committee for the state board, as well as generally their board meetings. So this last week I spent 7 hours watching their meetings, and it's very interesting, very informative. But one thing I want to point out was at the very end of Law and Licensing, board member Molly Hart, they're talking about a privacy compliance report and how they wanted to update it. And she said, we have too many reports and some of them duplicate each other and it's a lot of work, and I understand the need for this, but we need to consolidate. And I appreciate her speaking very strongly about that. If I understand correctly, one of the staff said that that was already in the works based on some legislation this year to be studying that in the interim. So hopefully some progress will be made, that we can still be accountable for the things that we should be accountable for and watching for, but making it easier on our staff. So hopefully I don't get anyone's hopes up, but hope it'll come, right? So. And then this Friday is JLC that I will be going to. Wendy will be going as well. And this is where we start talking about, as an association, we're taking the feedback that came at the spring regional meetings, as well as the survey that they sent out again this week. So if you haven't filled it out, you still have like a day or two. So they just have you rank on the survey what's the most important to you. But then we will decide, this month we have one meeting, next month we have another one, to kind of say we can only pick a few priorities so we can really focus on them. So what do we want those to be? So any input that you have for Wendy and I to take as we go to that meeting will be helpful. So, all right, and now it is time for our superintendent's report.
Sweet. So we do have some student travel that was approved. It just went through superintendent approval. We have our national competitions that take place for FCCLA, FBLA, all of those are coming through. On approvals as they competed in the state competitions, then they qualify and then they decide if they're moving on at that point. And then I think we had a golf trip and a softball trip. And as we do some region plays, particularly with Provo High, some of those will have to be overnight just because of the distance that they travel. So I just wanted to share a couple of things. A couple of weeks ago, the State Board of Education was contemplating, for lack of a better term, it's an anti-DEI resolution. And we already have a bill, a piece of legislation that's in place that states that we have to be very careful as we deal with equity issues and not exclude particular student groups. And I got very concerned about some of the language that was included in this particular piece, and particularly if some individuals chose to interpret it in a particular way that it could really disadvantage some of our students, particularly those involved in Latinos in Action, Peoples of the Pacific, our multicultural assemblies, just a lot of different things. I didn't know really how to respond to it, so I just sent out a quick text to our district leadership group. I sent out a text to, then they kind of sent that out to some principals, and I started to get these text messages with questions and people wanting some understanding and what that looked like. And the state superintendent then sent me a series of emails that were very heartwarming that came in from our students, from Timpview and Provo High School in particular, to the state board members, just stating how important it is for us to see and value every single individual, and really attested to that none of this is about excluding, none of this is about trying to elevate a group above another group. That isn't what our school communities are about. Our school communities are really about creating a space for connection for every single student, whether it's band or accelerated math or Peoples of the Pacific or whatever it is, everybody needs to find that niche, and that we should be expanding those opportunities, not limiting them. And I think there were a lot of individuals that were very grateful to see that the state board voted that anti-DEI resolution down as a result. Then I went to our superintendent's conference, and kind of coming off of just a lot of things that are taking place, I was a little depressed, and Sid Dixon, who's our state superintendent who is retiring, shared some things that she called pillars of light. And I just wanted to share a couple of things. For as much as public education gets dissed, particularly in the state of Utah, these are some things that I hope people know, and I'd be happy to share this with anyone who would like this. Utah students' ACT scores are #1 in the nation in the percentage of students achieving each college readiness benchmark. #1, mind you. The percentage of students meeting all 4 college readiness benchmarks, and we have the highest statewide composite test score of any state in the nation. There is also an assessment that is known as the PISA assessment. I looked it up a moment ago, but my iPad is dead. So I don't remember what PISA stands for, except it's an international assessment that compares each state with every other country. So it doesn't compare the United States as a whole, it compares each individual state. Utah is the second highest rated state on the PISA assessment in comparison to other countries. Utah also has the smallest post-pandemic mathematics score decline of any state. And Utah students are expected to experience the smallest lifetime pandemic-related learning loss in the nation. And I think that is a tribute to the dedication of our educators, of individuals that went through a really hard time to understand how important all of this was for our kids. That's not all. There's more good news. I can't wait to share this with you too. Our graduation rate as a state was almost 89%, but this is the great news. 7 out of 9 of our student groups, so they break that out by ethnicity and low income and students with disabilities, 7 out of 9 of them increased their graduation rate from 2023. So we're making strides with each of these student groups. And then our 2024 NAEP scores, which is what also creates some national comparisons. In 4th grade math, Utah ranked 3rd. In 8th grade math, we ranked 2nd. In 4th grade reading, we ranked 3rd. And in 8th grade reading, we ranked 4th. So now, if you start going in and looking at those percentages, you're still realizing there are a lot of kids that are not reading on grade level. So I don't want to, I mean, we also want to talk about that. But I also want people to realize what an incredible job our educators are doing in this state, all the way from every single person who welcomes a parent into a school to the individuals who clean our buildings and make us have really awesome facilities for our kids to learn in, to our teachers, to our principals. Every single person is helping to make this happen. And it gets really easy for all of the social media and for small groups of people to really find these negative things that happen. And I think we need to remember that we are doing a fantastic job in Utah. And that shouldn't be an excuse, however, for not continuing to fund education by saying, well, you're doing such a good job, we don't need to fund this anymore. Imagine how much we could be doing, and that we are being responsible with the resources we've been given by our taxpayers to have amazing results. And we need to be celebrating and yelling this from the rooftops. So I just wanted to share that with you.
All right, that brings us to the end of our business meeting, but we do have a closed executive session. So do we have a motion to adjourn business meeting and convene our closed executive session for the purpose of discussing collective bargaining and litigation?
I move that we adjourn the business meeting and convene a closed executive session for the purpose of discussing collective bargaining and litigation.
Okay, motion made by Board Member Boyce. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Board Member Van Wagenen. And to go into executive session, that is a roll call vote. We'll start with Melanie.
Melanie Hall, aye.
Emily Harrison, aye.
Meg Van Wagenen, aye.
Jennifer Partridge, aye.
Gina Hales, aye.
Terry McKay, bye.
Lisa Boyce, aye.
Okay.